Hi and hello, football fans. I hope all's well wherever you are. Welcome to the Dave Dameshek football program, presented as always by McDonald's. Right now, the McPick 2 menu is available for your perusal and pleasure. Items for you to choose from, 2 of them for $2. You can't beat that. We're going to pay off a little bet made between Total Access Dan Helly and Handsome Hank in just a little bit. They wagered some McPick 2 items on the title games, and we will let you know who won that in just a little bit, as you just saw there. In the meantime, we have a little something featuring our pal Ike Taylor and the time that he first met one of his most celebrated teammates ever when they first came together and made history together. We'll show you that. And then, of course, we have to jump in on these 2 conference title games. One as close as you could get, the other one a big blowout
Shek,
there.
you all right?
What do you mean?
You don't seem the same energy as if Pittsburgh were playing.
Well, yeah, no, listen, you're exactly right. I want to talk. There's something going on with a fan base, too, that we got to get into there.
Yes.
Let's say hello to everybody, first of all. You hear both their voices already. The first one, let's say hello way out there to my far left. Late of the Jaguars, the Raiders, the UCLA Bruins here now, our great pal, and we'll spend next week with him in the port of San Francisco and the surrounding area. It's Maurice Jones-Drew, and I'm pleased. Whoa. Hold, check that.
Okay.
Stop that.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Hey.
Okay.
Maurice didn't love the intro song that the one-man house band Dick Banks put
It was
together for him
cool,
last
but,
week.
I mean,
That
I'm
ain't
more
his
hip-hop.
kind.
You like the effort.
I love the effort. A
Right.
for effort.
Well, let's hear the first one. Let's hear that one from last week and hear where we
Five foot seven, full of sexiness. MJD
And he think that's funny.
is
Quietly.
on the show.
Look at his
that's
face.
funny.
Look at his face.
You
Look at
think
the
that's
smile
funny
he
quietly.
has.
That was nice. I thought
it
that was
was
nice. But that was just a starting point.
Right.
You understand?
Well, that was rushed.
It was,
I feel like
it was
he just
probably
called his
done.
homeboy.
It was probably done 2
Hey,
minutes before we got on
yeah.
the show.
Hey, like a great artiste
And there you
does,
go.
Dick Banks said,
Explain
all
it.
right, if the customer isn't happy, you know what, let me try it again. You said you wanted something that had a little East Bay flavor. Lay it on us there, one-man house band Dick Banks.
Straight out of Oakland, that's where he's born and grown. Drafted by the Jaguar, addicted to the end zone. Now he's on with
I love it.
Yeah, that's his new home. Some call him Maurice, we all call him MJD.
You're addicted to the end zone.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I like it.
I liked it.
All right, and then,
liked
of
it a
course,
lot.
and then we have Ike Taylor here from
Hey,
the
you thought this was really funny.
12 years veteran of the Steelers, and here's his intro
Watch
music.
this.
Go ahead.
Number 24 is in the house. Ike Taylor's on the show.
You get nothing else. It's just.
Well, we don't need to fix what ain't broke, so we're going to stay with that one.
Hey, no way.
They had to
no.
make a new one. They had to
Hey, no
make
way.
a new one.
Why? That was
Bro,
nice.
I feel like he just called his homeboy and said, hey, man, I've been promising these guys some music. Not no music, some music. Can you put something together for me, please?
Right. That was nice. That was Cajun. That's from your region of the U.S. of A.
I know. I
Ike.
thought you changed it.
Well, no, I said, why fix what ain't broke? That one was solid gold already.
He
Right?
crazy. He that boy crazy.
All right, let's get into it. All right, you know what? Before we jump into the title game review, like I mentioned, we have started a new little segment here. We animate it. It's great stories from great football players, and
I still don't get no
No remix.
No, that was
no
it.
remix.
you need a new song. What do you mean? I thought you loved that one.
Black Tie, you gotta have me a new song on that Black Tie.
Black Tie. You know
Like-
that was a good song, right?
No, that wasn't.
Which one do you like
What
better,
song?
Black Tie? Gothard.
I'm from Iowa. I love the country music.
That wasn't country music. It was Cajun. Don't you see? That's where Ike is from.
And they got the young producers don't even know what kind of music it is.
Yeah, he just throwing out.
He told us
I'm
some
from
country
Iowa.
music.
I love country music.
That's not even country.
Mine's country.
It's
too,
Zydeco.
huh?
It's Zydeco.
Absolutely, yeah, totally.
It's called Zydeco.
That's right.
Yeah.
See? So that's nice. And you like it now. You're coming around on that one, right? Now, Ike, let's put that in the rear view mirror,
Okay.
at least for now. And
For
let's
now,
focus
please.
on this. Great stories told by great NFL football players, the first of which, well, actually we showed one last week that was told by DeQuell Jackson by a roommate who was malodorous. But this is a better story. This is Ike Taylor meeting his future Hall of Fame secondary mate, his name Troy Polamalu. It's time for another edition of Pigtails. Let's take a look.
So picture I'm on the floor in the hotel. I just got drafted, right? So I'm thinking I'm by myself. So before I hop in the shower, I lay down the towel in the bathroom and I do me some sit-ups. Now I'm doing these sit-ups butt naked, no clothes on. When I'm about to finish, the door opened in the hotel room. So I finished doing my crunch, look up, it's TP, AKA Troy Polamalu. He up and closed the door. I'm like, nah, it's the right room. You got the right person. Come on in. So he closed the door, opened it back up. I guess he thought the situation was gonna be different. But I ain't finished doing my sit-ups. Hurry up, do my sit-ups, wrap the towel around me. Hey, Troy Polamalu, man, this is Ike Taylor, man. A pleasure to meet you, first round draft pick. I know a lot about you. Hopefully we can be teammates. So picture that being the first time you ever meeting your teammate on the floor, butt naked, doing sit-ups.
Boy, hey, listen.
Boy, that's you know what? That's touching. It's amusing for a moment, and then you realize
Y'all
that's the
crazy.
start of a
That
beautiful
is
relationship.
That is.
That's gold.
You like that, Ike?
That's all that. That's a real live cartoon.
That's right. We can, and listen, you are a fountain of great stories. So I anticipate that in the coming days and weeks and months, I suspect that we will be doing many, many more of those.
Hey, listen, all you
and
gotta do
Maurice will
is
jump in too.
put a campfire in front of me and Maurice and watch his work.
Listen.
The stories are the greatest. There's not people tell me all the time. I just caught up this weekend with some of my chums to watch the games, guys who I hadn't seen in quite a bit, and resounding. I mean, 100%. Everybody. Man, Ike and Maurice are hysterical. I love listening to those guys when they're in the DDFP and so on.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
Shek,
marvelous.
who came out with it? That's your idea?
Yeah.
That
That's
was
gold.
nice.
That's gold, man.
Well, listen,
Hey,
it's
Shek.
not my idea. It's Ike telling the story. All we did was draw it up.
The format and how you did it, that was nice.
All right.
That was
well,
nice.
All right, let's get into it now. And like I say, we will do more of that. But right now it's time for very important stuff. And what's more important now, the season started way back in September, and now we're down to just one game, really an exhibition, a musical event surrounded by two halves of pigskin. And it is the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. I think, people always say, who could have seen this one coming? But really, did anybody pick the Carolina Panthers and Denver Broncos when the season started? Maybe somebody had the Broncos, but nobody had this pair and getting to Super Bowl 50.
Somebody had Denver for sure.
I imagine that was a semi-popular.
Not too many people had the Carolina Panthers.
Once Kelvin went down, everybody
went off the boat. Everybody jumped off.
First question before we dig into the individual games is, what's worse, to be on the field and lose the way the Patriots did on Sunday, real tight game, one play, comes down to one play, or just get whipped? Just get whipped by the midway through the third quarter. You're like, we're done. We have no chance.
Getting whipped.
Yeah.
Don't whip me.
You don't want that. Yeah.
See, I don't mind the getting whipped. That coming down to that one drive. But you say that one play or that one drive, Shek, them fourth downs they went for and didn't make it. Worst case scenario, you have 6 points on the board. You come out with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're down by 8.
All right, well, let's get into that. What did you think? I mean, people are loath to question Bill Belichick's decision-making. If you took the deeds and, his resume and all the championships and everything else, if that were a middle-of-the-road coach, a lot of people would be giving him more heat. I think and you know me, I'm a little more aggressive in the fourth quarter when I'm trailing. You guys tend to be more conservative. I'm with you. Usually the book would say kick the field goal in that spot and get it to 5. But it also, in that moment, when they're down there with, 5-6 minutes left, to me it just felt like a gargantuan feat to get it down there. They couldn't get the ball inside the 40-yard line all day. So it seemed like, man, you better try to cash in now because I don't know if you're getting back down here again.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, Shek, it's still 6 points is 6 points. Worst case scenario, I'm saying. If you get a touchdown, then obviously it's totally different. But, man, when you come up with no points and you're trailing by 8 points with a minute and some change left in the fourth quarter, tides have turned. Because guess what? All you need to go down now is kick a field goal.
That's it.
And you won the game.
Yeah.
But instead of winning the game, you put yourself in a position with a minute and some change left. You're down by 8. Now you have to go for that 2-point conversion. By the way, we have to score a touchdown. So that's what I'm saying, man. You get them 3, you get them cool 6. I mean, you put your whole just mind frame, your offense into a whole different perspective.
It's more calm, right? If you're down 1, it's different. All we gotta do is get to the 35. We got a chance of winning this thing. I think the biggest thing for me though, players mess up. And I mean, when I mean player, not football players, but Bill Belichick, he's afforded 1 or 2 mess ups. It happens. I mean, he just outsmarted himself, like we talked about in our segment earlier today. Sometimes you start to believe your hype. You start to believe like, okay, I'm gonna do this similar to when he did the little fake kick against Philly, and then let them come back in the game. I mean, he's had some little fumbles here and there with his decision making, but when you have Tom Brady and Gronkowski and those kind of guys, you always want to be aggressive, because you're expecting like, look, I got Tom Brady, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, especially in this moment, which is late game heroics. I mean, that's how he won his first 2 or 3 Super Bowls, late game heroics. Why wouldn't I go down and do it again? And so I think what we saw was that the league is starting to change. We all thought the league was passing and throwing and high-powered offenses, and now it's going back to running game and defense. And that's what you see in the Carolina Panthers and Denver Broncos. You don't turn the ball over, and your defense creates turnovers. At the end of the day, you'll be in this position to make a play at the end.
Specifically with the New England and Denver game, man, it jumped out to me. And by the end of it, Denver got its run totals, its run attempts up. But still, I can't recall a game where neither team could establish any kind of running game. I mean, that neither one could do anything all day long. And, so Brady, we talked about that just last week, the unorthodox way they win games, the assumptions you make, well, you have to be able to run the ball in the playoffs. Not the Patriots. They didn't run it all last year on their way to the Super Bowl in those games. They didn't run it sometimes. I guess in the first quarter against Seattle, they went out.
No, they ran the ball against the Colts.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I stand corrected. But there are certain games, though, that the Patriots have won in the postseason, running the ball, it seems like, 6 times. Maybe not literally.
Well, it ain't even about running the ball. It's the attempts.
That's what it's all about.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just getting the 5-6 yard gains. Them 2 to 3 yards, man, I'm cool with that. I'm just running the ball to keep these attempts, to keep this defense honest. Because if they guessing and they figuring I'm passing from first to third down, man, I'm making it hard on my team. You give your quarterback no opportunity. At least you give the defense coordinator time to think, like, okay, he could be running the ball. But now, if I'm just guesstimating, man, he passing the ball first
Brady
and downs.
the ball
It's hard.
What about that though? What about the
50
way?
times? Let's be honest. I get it. Tom Brady, you got all these weapons, but 50 times in a playoff game, the games are going to be hours long. The whole part about the playoffs is to shrink the game to about 2. You want it to be a 3.5 hour game, and you want to get out there with a victory. You want to eke out a victory somehow, some way. You want to put the pressure on the other team. And Denver did that. They ran the ball. No one could move the ball, but because the Denver ran it, the clock was going.
The attempts.
The attempts were up. It didn't matter. And at the end of the game, I think Peyton Manning threw it was in the third quarter. He did like a bootleg, one of the first ones I saw him ever do. And no one was near him. Because what? Just because they were attempting to run the ball, the bootleg came wide open, and no one thought that he would ever bootleg. They got a big first down there in the third quarter.
Tom Brady got hit 19 times. The Patriots had 17 rushing attempts.
The thing, there are many different aspects of this game to break down, but that's the chief one, and we can talk about Peyton Manning getting to the Super Bowl and that storyline and everything, but everybody is rightly pointing out that game was about Von Miller and Derek Wolfe and DeMarcus Ware heating up Brady all day long, which stunned me. And when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong, like the late, great Jerry Orbach at the end of Dirty Dancing. I thought Brady would do the same thing he did to the Chiefs largely last week. He'll just quick pass them. Oh, you want to try and chase me down? I'll just throw it to Edelman, and then once you jump that route, I'll throw it to Gronk over the middle, and I'll neutralize you.
I thought the same thing too, but what I failed to realize, again, and that was my fault, it was an extra week of preparation the Denver Broncos had. Yeah. So the same thing we was thinking with the Chiefs, the Denver Broncos was like, okay, this how Tom Brady beat the Chiefs. We got a defensive line, a front seven just like the Chiefs. Let's go ahead and tweak this secondary a little bit. Let's go ahead and drop some of these outside linebackers. Let's see, like, if Von Miller, man, let him get on the line like we rushing, but drop him back in coverage one time, and by the way, he catch him a pick. It's all about matchups we always talk about. And that cover too, when Tom Brady sees a running back on a linebacker or a safety on my tight end Gronk,
I'm throwing the ball.
That's where he going. And a lot of them times, Coach Wade saw that, or at least guesstimated that, and he checked to a cover two, and checking to a cover two, you come up with interceptions.
Yeah.
You saw Brady kind of force the ball in some instances, and you come out with the W. But I thought the same thing too, but I failed to realize or failed to think again that the Denver Broncos saw that KC game and was like, you know what, we got the same kind of blueprint on defense, but this how we gonna do it. We're gonna zone off more.
Is that so? They didn't know that going in, that they were going to have that mismatch the whole game, and Denver let them have it the whole game, and it was a simple matter. Brady just could not hit James White over and over again, emboldened to a slightly lesser degree. White was open. He had that linebacker matched up on him all day long, and like we always have talked about, the three of us and Bucky Brooks as well. I said, when's somebody going to put one of their corners on Rob Gronkowski? Well, you saw that. Chris Harris was matching up with Gronk to some degree and still couldn't completely take him away. But what it left was that linebacker on the running back, and Brady just couldn't take advantage of it,
Well,
right?
after the game, I called T.J. Ward, and I'm like, what was the game plan? Give me some nuggets so I can go on TV and talk about it. And he was like, really, we just wanted to throw everything we had, all type of coverages. We did some things that were out, like we did some self-scouting. And so sometimes when we played cover one in certain situations, we wanted to play cover three. And when they went empty, we wanted to play two-man because we knew Tom wasn't going to run. So we wanted to play two-man and force him to throw the ball in the tight windows. We knew that we were going to we can get to the quarterback with 3-4 guys rushing because our offensive line was banged up and they had guys playing out of position. And so they just took advantage of certain matchups that we hadn't seen. Like we thought Kansas City were going to take advantage of the O-line. They didn't do that. But then we saw Denver do it, right?
Do it, yeah.
They trusted putting Brandon Marshall on James White. They trusted T.J. Ward covering Gronkowski one-on-one. They put some guys in some one-on-one matchups who actually early in the game did a really good job stopping them and making them rethink some of their game plan. And sometimes
you know what they did well? They played cover three and got pressure with a 3.5 4-man front. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we dropping our outside linebackers, inside linebackers, so they can have vision on the ball. No one takes the guy crossing. If he crosses your zone and Tom Brady throws it in your zone, then make the hit or make the play. But nobody is taking a guy man to man, and that's like the Seattle defense. So
I was just gonna say, that's the trick, right?
They played that Seattle defense against Tom Brady, but they had the rushers.
That's the trick also. It goes back to the New York Giants beating them not once but twice. The recipe seems fairly clear. It's easier to do it, but it's easier to say than to do. But if you can get pressure, and I think that pretty much is true with any defense, right? If you can get pressure.
Everybody doesn't have that personnel.
Right, but if you have the four guys that can bring the heat, you just make it so cloudy. I mean, from the first, I thought the Patriots were going to win this game. I thought that Brady would go surging on them and just pick them apart all day. By the end of the first series, the first 3 and out, I thought, there's just nothing there. They're just sitting back and letting Brady. There is no clear receiver coming available.
They also did a good job when they saw 3-step drops to put their hands up real quick, and so he had no windows to throw through. I just thought they had a great game plan, and I want to say, I think you said it, or someone said that Belichick went to Wade Phillips and was like, man, you had a great game.
Yeah. I mean, you can just tell, man. He just started. Coach Wade was like, you know what? Let me see what this zone. I got some fire defensive linemen. Let me go ahead and let these guys pin their ears back and get the time. And let's see what these zone coverages do on the back end. And everybody had their eyes toward Tom so they can see the ball. And Tom struggled. Like my Tom Brady, my guy, he struggled.
When you start, it is a funny trend, and there are things that you can see across the landscape week to week. And those linebackers just dropping back are tricking some good NFL QBs. They're just not seeing those guys. Is that a new thing to start?
No, it's been. But again, Shek, you got to have the personnel to do that. Not too many people athletic like a Vaughn.
Pittsburgh, you guys did that, I want to say, in 2005. That was the way you guys beat Peyton Manning. I mean, every time Peyton Manning struggled was against a 3-4 because he didn't know where the blitz was coming. He didn't know who was dropping back, so he couldn't make all those audibles. That's one of the reasons New England's a 3-4 team, because it messes with your protections. If you have Willie McGinnis rushing one time, the one time he drops back, now you can shoot a Mike linebacker and do different things and mess with people's protections. It just happens to to most people.
Let's talk a little bit of 18 here, who didn't have an all-time day or anything, but I thought his second touchdown pass to Dylan Daniels was a legitimate dime there. I thought that was a great ball he threw to the corner of the end zone. Otherwise, unspectacular stuff. I'm sure the team was excited that he ran for 12 yards. You saw some of the teammates laughing on the sideline. The one thing is, though, I thought, are they really going to let him throw? I know that the situation dictated with just over 2 minutes to have Peyton throw there, but Phil Simms didn't seem to know it. He said that was a good safe pass for Peyton. It hit Malcolm Butler in the hands. What if Peyton had thrown a pick on his side of the field with them up 8 there? What did you make of Peyton? How do you feel for Peyton at this point?
Well, I was going to say he said it after the Pittsburgh game. Like, my job is not lose a game. We're going to run the ball, and our defense is going to win it for us. And when he said it, I was like, oh, he's just being a company man. He's just going to say what the coaches want him to say. But, at the end of the day, he's gonna try to take the game over. But
Maurice,
he's showing you something.
We talked about this.
You've said many insightful things over the last 4 or 5 months, but Ike Taylor has been spot on with a few calls that really few picked out. And you said when they put him back in there and they pulled Osweiler, you said, you watch. This is going to be it. Peyton will have learned his lesson the rest of the way, and he has. He's playing that kind of ball. He's turning around, handing it off, real safe passes the whole time.
Well, he had to. And the thing is, they won the last 2 games because he haven't turned the ball over.
That's right.
I mean to say, you know what I'm saying? We taled about him when he had 0 touchdowns, but he had 0 turnovers. Now, yeah, the balls are looking like ducks coming from out the gun, but at the same time, man, he just keeping them in the game because he's not causing turnovers. And you saw what Carson Palmer did when he caused them 6 turnovers.
Let's wait till we get there.
Oh, we'll get there. Two more quick questions about the Patriots.
When we get there, we got to let him.
Oh yeah, we got to Patriots and Broncos. Let's kibitz about this real fast. First of all, on the 2-point conversion, here's what I see with my untrained eye. It is Brady, after taking 19 hits, 20 hits, whatever it was over the course of the day, he makes that miraculous play. And what a catch by Gronk. Given the circumstances that he held it on, do you see the DB raking at his arm?
4th and 10.
I mean, that was something. And then he gets the touchdown. That was a prayer. Brady just throws that ball up.
4th and goal.
So then you get it. So he gets the touchdown. No, I'm talking about the deep ball that got him into the red zone.
That was 4th and 10.
That was 4th.
That was 4th, and then the 4th down in the red zone touchdown.
Yeah.
Then they go for 2. Gronk comes free.
He's wide open.
But to me, here's my guess, and this is what I've learned from you guys, is that older QBs, you always think, well, the experience of a QB is going to serve them well, except that they start getting gunshot. They don't like getting hit because they start to see ghosts, you guys say all the time. And Brady definitely is one of those guys, and he was really taking a beating. I think the play design clearly was Gronk will clear out the middle. He'll drag 2 guys with him. Open up the middle of the field. I'll just throw it over the middle to Julian Edelman. That's not what Denver gave him, but Brady was so spooked by that point, he locked into Edelman and never looked off. If he would have picked his head up at all, touchdown to Gronk, right?
See, and we always talk about quarterbacks seeing ghosts. I mean, if I was Tom and I got hit 19 times, I would have saw a whole graveyard.
A whole bunch of ghosts.
Yeah, I would have saw a whole graveyard. So I get it why he kind of like panicked under that situation, but at the same time, I'm throwing it to Gronk.
Of course, after those plays, you have to go his way, right?
And this is why. He beat double coverage twice. It was 4th and 10. You threw the ball up. The inside safety thought Gronk was going to cut in. Gronk just ran past the corner and the safety. Bam, we get down to the red zone. Get down to the red zone, you try a few times, and I said this in the red zone. Oh, he's looking for the running back coming out.
Yeah, he should have do the go ball.
He couldn't get it to the running back. So now we throw up another Packers Hail Mary to Gronk, and Gronk scores a touchdown. I'm not going to get too cute. Obviously, this guy has got me down there.
You're at the 2-yard line. Throw it to your 6'7" all-world tight end.
I'm going to go for him one more time.
Right.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. And I've seen it because in 7-on-7, you work with these high school quarterbacks, and it happens to everyone. And I play with quarterbacks that have done it. When they see someone get taken away, when they see someone get double-teamed multiple times, they automatically go away from him. Like, he didn't even look at Gronk. Because in that read, it's supposed to be flat, corner, sit. That's how you do it. You run, your eyes take you to the flat, you look up to the corner, and if the corner's open, you just throw it over. You just, lob it to him. He's going to catch it. He was so scared.
That's right.
That Gronk was going to get taken away because he didn't even look at Gronk.
That's what I was going to say. Watch his eyes. He never even looks at 87.
No, he didn't look at him at all. He was wide open. And when people are like, well, there's a guy. No, he was wide open because the guy is trailing him. And if you just throw in the back of the corner like you're supposed to, He's going to catch it, dab his feet, and it's going to be good.
Yep.
It happens when people are too smart, when you see things too much. So that's why it's like hard when they say, I want a very smart quarterback. Well, they remember things, right? So you remember you throw it on 4th and 10 to Gronk, he was double teamed.
Right.
Then you remember on 4th and goal, you throw it up to him, he was double teamed.
Right.
Now you're like, oh, they got to double team him on the 2-point conversion. They got to do that. So I'm not even going to look his way. I'm going to outsmart them and throw it to Edelman, who they're not going to see coming.
See, what they don't understand is the guy usually in motion typically is the guy getting the ball.
Yeah.
So as a defender, when I saw Edelman coming down for the incomplete pass, I saw Edelman go in motion. I was like, oh, he's getting the ball. Or he's going to try to give him the ball. Because that's usually what happens when the motion guy tries.
They wanted to, but didn't they want the safety to stay with Gronk and not follow Edelman? But the fact that Brady never even looked up to see where the safety was, he was so spooked at that point. I'm jamming it in there to Edelman or shame the devil.
2 guys went with the running back, and that's kind of what screwed him up. He had 2 guys go with the back, and then one went with Gronk, and then the inside guy came, and then 21.
Gronk is gonna win the ball game for
Either way, I'm always that dance with who brung you guy. Like throw it to your main guy. If you're Pittsburgh, 7 to Antonio Brown is the call when the game's on the line.
Always.
You're the Giants, Eli to Odell Beckham.
Yes.
That's what you do. But the team, the Broncos, are built around that defense now. And Von Miller, man, DeMarcus Ware was a destroyer all day on Sunday. But Von Miller, the jump he got on the 1 sack that he made was embarrassing, and I thought, it wasn't embarrassing. It was just the all-world, one of the great pass rushers we've ever seen, Derek Thomas incarnate in 2016. But immediately flashed in my head, that's somebody's daddy you just did that to.
Oh my gosh,
no question. And it's sad.
And then stood over Brady after he did it. Who's somebody's daddy?
Well, stood over Brady and asked the guy who he just beat, "Where my pacifier at?" 'Cause
Yeah.
I just signed you. So I'm about to give you a pacifier.
Right, now go on timeout. Now go on the field, get off the field, and
Right.
go over there and get yelled at.
Now, why is everybody – now, here's the thing. So, Gostkowski, I think he has to make the extra point. The standard is the same for a high-end kicker as it is for a high-end quarterback or anybody else. If you don't play to the level that you've set out all season, I'm not going to say choked, but you have let the team down. I feel bad for the guy to miss that kick, but if your standard is, 463 in a row, and then you miss it in the big game, then, I don't think he deserves hateful letters or tweets or anything from fans. But he does deserve and has owned it and said it's my fault. But, yeah, you're right. You need to make that kick.
He missed it, but give him another shot.
He pushed
inside the 20.
He pushed the heck out of that too, man.
Inside the 20, he's been real good.
I played against Bro multiple times. One of the most accurate kickers I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody deserves a chance to fail, though. It's going to happen. No one's perfect.
That's fine, but he does have to own his percentage.
But how many has he made to move them on, to push them further?
I agree.
Like,
I hear you, but
really,
it's the same as anybody else. This is a clutch game, you gotta be at your best.
To be honest, that right there didn't make them lose.
No.
Yeah, it did.
No, it's not. No,
I don't know if it made them lose, but if everything plays out the same, they would have just kicked the field goal after the Gronk touchdown.
They had two
other
shots.
times to kick field goals.
I
they could have won.
understand. Well, that's on Belichick. I'm not saying that's entirely on Gostkowski.
But I don't think just because he misses, if you're in the red zone, so we accumulate red zone with points, right? As soon as you get past, to me, the red zone is a 30 pass, right? So once you get past the 30, it should be a field. You should be all right. We got to make sure we're careful with the ball. We're going to play for – if we score, we score. If not, we make sure we have 3 in there. 4th and 1, they were at the 20, and he didn't kick the ball. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think –
that's crazy.
Well, but that to me, that was hindsight because in the moment, like I say, I felt like, man, guys cannot get down
points.
here. You got to –
I need points.
I need points.
Because
you come up with 0 now.
You have to remember, Peyton Manning didn't drive them down the field and score. They did the first drive, and after that, they kind of struggled back and forth. Von Miller's pick is the one they end up giving them.
That's right.
The Daniels touchdown, the second one.
Oh, yeah, the Broncos weren't going to score.
So I don't – okay, I'm going to kick the ball off to you. I'm going to kick a field goal, get the ball, move down. If we kick another one, okay, let you stop, get the ball, and then we go. Because Demaryius Thomas wasn't making plays. No one was really making plays in the game.
Except for Emmanuel.
Emmanuel's the only one.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the other one. But first, let me say, in all my years of watching sports, of now get to talk about sports for a living and all that, you guys as players, I don't know what you think. the Broncos fans, I've never experienced anything like it. You got to the Super Bowl, so people picked against you. I thought that the Broncos would lose to the Patriots, and I thought the Steelers would beat the Broncos, and I didn't think Peyton Manning being the QB was a good idea. So what? So I was wrong. Shouldn't that be more joyous for you? Instead, people tweeting me, tweeting you, tweeting Dan Helly, tweeting every
too. But this, I'm gonna give them a fact. Though.
I want an apology. You owe you an apology. You're in the Super Bowl, man. I think you should be celebrating, not demanding apologies.
Thanks for listening to the DDFP. But we're all entitled to our own opinions. At the same time, you are 2-5 in Super Bowls. FYI, the Denver Broncos are 2-5.
That's not going to fix things, Ike.
2-5. That's a fact.
That is true.
They're 2-5.
You went deep. You tried to cut them deep, huh?
Yeah.
You cut. Listen, people. I don't know if it's one.
I've never seen that before. After you get over the hump, you're in the Super Bowl. Like, now I'm angry at you. What?
You know why I like it though? That means they're tuning in.
Yeah.
They're listening. So that's good.
But the best thing about it, we did our segment today, and I picked the Broncos. Cause I said, look, I can't. My cousin is on the Broncos, T.J. Ward, and I cannot pick against the guy. I mean, he's back home. He's playing in San Francisco, back at home. Like, I gotta give him. We'll give us a reason. That's my reason why I think the Broncos are gonna win. Because as a fan, I want them to have a ring, right? And I was like, I'll take it to the bank. And I don't know if it was someone in our building or they put it out already, but someone like tweeted me like, oh, like right after too. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, I know the Panthers are gonna win now. He said they're gonna lose. I'm like, listen.
Everybody's got to
relax.
relax. I know. Everybody takes it very personal.
I get it. I understand. I'm all for it.
I take
feelings.
things. Well, I take it very personally too. But
So
I don't get. The difference is I don't get angry at people
Yes,
if they
you do.
I do not get angry.
You were talking about fire Tomlin after what? They lost.
That's
they lost
me
to
talking
Ravens?
about my team. I don't get angry if you think the other team's going to win. It makes it better. Oh, everybody thought the Broncos were going to win. Great. When we upset you, it's going to be all the more pleasurable. And
You
in
even
fact,
thought the Broncos were going to win. You picked them too.
maybe I did. I don't remember anymore. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals
Shek.
and the Carolina Panthers game. This one was over from the jump pretty much. By the way, I know I said we're going into this game, but real quick, how negative a trend, how much can you make out of what's happened to the Patriots? It's not just the Denver game. The recipe is now there. Giants, pass rush in those Super Bowls. We saw that. But, recently, the Jets, they hit. I'm surprised that the Jets hit him less in that week, 16 game than against Denver. They got to him. Miami got to him and beat him.
Miami always give them problems.
I know, but
Miami.
how negative a trend is this, or will that all be washed away by next season?
That's every quarterback.
Yeah.
Anytime you can hit a quarterback, that's why pass rushers are such a high premium. That's why, like, you see Bud Dupree, you see all these guys get drafted high in the first round because it's hard to find a guy who can naturally rush the passer. So if you think about it, if you can get a guy who can rush from the inside, outside, you get 4 or 5 of those guys. You can rotate them. I mean, the Giants. Remember they had Kiwanuka, who's a linebacker, who would go to DN, and then they'd move. Man, if you can get people that can rush the passer and get after a quarterback,
that's what we had with Lamar and James Harrison in their prime.
Yeah,
like them boys had like 30-some sacks by themselves.
Yeah,
just by themselves.
If you
all right, well,
hit the quarterback, it's a
now let's talk about that one. Let's talk about what we saw in Carolina. Cam Newton, sublime once again.
Let's not even talk about Cam because right
He's
now
awesome.
we need to let's go to negative 10.
You're kind of right about that. We've said what there is to say. Our position has remained the same. It's everybody else coming around to join where we were in late September, which was declaring him the best, the guy who's playing the best in the NFL, and he hasn't let up all season long, and he's going to soon be the MVP. So what else did the Panthers do right in this one on Sunday?
It's not what they did right. It's not about them.
No.
It's about one person.
Oh, is it? You're going to put it on 3, eh?
Put it on 1. Should I go ahead?
You go ahead.
You do it.
Let it all.
Let it all out.
He was shook. Like, the moment was too big for him. We did our analysis. Me and Ike, we did our thing.
And that's what we said.
I said if he has to relax and get back, he can't be tense and uptight. Like, as a quarterback, you can't be tense and uptight. Even though you don't there was one instance where he fumbles the ball and he grabs a coach by the head and tries to show Bruce Arians, like he's explaining to Bruce Arians what happened, but you can see he's like all red and tensed up. I'm like, dude, You're a quarterback. Like, these things happen. Like, you got to relax. You got to water off a duck's back is what they try to say.
So you can read the body language. I believe it. You can read the body language through the TV of your QB.
Oh, as soon as all I have to do is see one thing. I mean, sometimes he puts his head down. Other times he's forcing throws. You could tell he's uncomfortable in the pocket. I mean, he wasn't reading defenses at all. He was just throwing the ball.
Black Tie behind the glass considers himself the body language expert. I'm sorry.
The notion of like, oh, you can read a quarterback's body language. Why do you think I'm here?
All right, Black Tie. Did you like how Carson looked?
I mean, Carson was clearly like worried and scared. I said at the start of the game, if Carson shows up like he did last week, this game's completely over, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, last week he had problems. That's what people don't understand. Like
he had problems against y'all.
Yeah, last week Carson had problems, and I've been saying this because I played him, and we felt like I don't know what it is in Cincinnati, but the starting quarterbacks in Cincinnati, man, for the big games, for some reason, they can't get past them. They cannot get past.
And yet you refuse to associate that with the head coach. You refuse to say
so
that guy doesn't.
Bruce Arians' fault? Bruce Arians.
BA is one of the best.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, you can't do
he's
that.
one of the best OCs in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Offensive minds, period.
And you can see him getting frustrated at Carson.
Shouldn't Bruce Arians then have said, instead of what he said after the game, which was, no, it had nothing to do with his damn finger. He just didn't play well.
It had nothing to do with his finger.
Shouldn't he just say it was the finger, though, to let him off?
No.
That gets him off the hook then. Like, yeah, he had
You
a
had
messed up
7
finger.
turnovers as a team. 6 come from your quarterback.
Listen, he was dreadful. That's worse.
6.
What I like about Bruce Arians is he's real. He's not going to sugarcoat anything because this is the man's game. And that's why people respect him. When you play well, he praises you. Mm-hmm. When you don't play well, he doesn't give you an excuse to hide behind. So his excuse is his finger.
No.
Oh, you've had that finger since week 15, bro. Like that.
So when you won a game last week, it wasn't your finger. Now when you lose, I'm gonna go to my finger.
No, it's all here. It was all in your mind. Sometimes, like I even see myself get into it. Like I'll psych myself up too much. Like you'll be like, oh, I'm going against such and such, ooh, and then I'm like, what am I doing? This is just football. Like this ain't nothing. This is nothing real. Like, and I think sometimes as quarterbacks, we try to take it too far. Like I play with the quarterbacks. Like I remember we played against Tom Brady, and Garrard was like, it's me versus Tom Brady. I was like, no, it's not. You're not. You and Tom Brady aren't going to be on the field the same.
Is that right? Because quarterbacks always say, well, it's not me against the other.
Well, no, because he's a competitor. He wants to go out there and outshine Tom. I respect it. But no, this is me and you versus us versus that defense. That's what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes it happens. Like that's just if you have a real competitive nature, which obviously Carson's competitive nature is I played bad last time. I want to play better this time. So I want to go out there and show people, and then you just make it bigger than what it's supposed to be.
But so you give – I mean, I know you're putting it on number 3 there in the red jersey, but how much credit do you give to the Carolina defense? Is it as good as Denver's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's as good as Denver's.
It's a mirror defense. They looking at each other. They looking at each other in the mirror. 1 and 2 defense, got the same kind of personnel, got some legit – and by the way, the corner, the safety, old school, who didn't play.
Oh, Roman Harper.
They're playing better. They're more athletic.
Without him.
Who's
your boy, Trey Boston?
Yes, and I hate to say that because I like Rome, but they're more athletic. The play calling is a little bit more aggressive.
He's old and slow.
A little bit more aggressive in that secondary, and all they need to rush is 4. That's what people don't understand. You can get pressure with 4. The same thing Seattle. Seattle started this a couple of years ago. They found a way to get pressure with a rotating 4. They was rotating like 7 guys on that defensive line. Everybody watch the quarterback. Don't get out your zone, and we call that don't bite the cheese, meaning if there's something in front of you, don't bite on it because something is behind you. Just rally to that thing you see in front of you. When you got a team, 11 guys who can do that and understands that every play, you're going to win ball games. And in the last 2 defenses between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos, they 1 and 2 with this defense, man. It's crazy because we talking about all these high-powered quarterbacks. Peyton Manning has had a bad year statistically at the quarterback position, and Cam Newton is your unorthodox / quarterback. But guess what? They both playing in the big game.
Look at that. I mean, and by the way, Arizona had a good defense. New England had a good defense. Cincy had a good one. The defensive trend, everybody keeps talking about this, a quarterback league and everything else. But the thing that is common with these teams that have gone deep is great defense.
Well,
That's that.
Shek, I think the whole league is starting to change. Like we want it to be points and this
the
and
fantasy.
that.
Not me.
Fantasy.
The fantasy got everybody shook.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But in all actuality, the teams that are there, we're talking about Denver Broncos who adopted the
Seattle
run,
Seahawks two
run-
2 years
run
in a row.
first.
The 49ers were always in
Right.
that mix. These are teams that
Well,
dominate defensively.
Well, think about what Denver did. Because remember, early in the year, Peyton and Kubiak were going at. They were beefing because Peyton wanted to run his offense. Kubiak didn't. He wanted to do his thing. Peyton comes to, all right, I'm going to do what you want to do since we're winning. They run the ball. They don't turn the ball over. They play solid defense. Carolina, on the other hand, what is Carolina known for? They run the ball. They have 31 straight games with 100 yards. I mean, that's crazy to me. That's almost 2 years. Every time you play in the regular season, you have 100 yards rushing. Going with a dynamic defense, a defense that you have a one corner who McLean, who like people pick on, and he's holding his own, and then you have safeties in the back, and we don't know who they are. They just out there playing. I mean, and then you have Kuechly in the middle getting everybody straight.
Let's talk about Cam for just a second here, because it really is. I know we keep I don't know how many platitudes, how much praise we can heap upon this guy, but these are now big games. And, this is something I know the three of us have talked about, so I know you'll agree with this. But, the knock on Cam Newton coming out was, and to some degree even Jameis Winston. And I'm not weighing in, and don't send me your tweets moralizing. I'm not talking about what they did when they were in college. I'm saying that amidst all this attention they're getting in a white-hot light that has not to do with football, but with real-life stuff, while that's all going on, what Cam Newton and Jameis Winston did was keep on winning and dominating and winning the Heisman Trophy and all that stuff. So whatever negative you would want to attach to those guys, the fact is, on your football team at least, and I'm not weighing in about morals or ethics or anything. I'm talking just now as it applies to your team. The negative, that's a red flag, is in fact a positive. What else are you going to do to Cam Newton to get in his head? You can't do worse than have that stuff's hanging out. You're a bad kid. You're a character issues. It seems like that. You talk about water off the duck's back.
Oh, well, that's what it's all about.
Now I feel like you're reaching.
Why?
No. I'm just saying, like, fans and people in general. Like, what Super Bowl this is? What number this is?
50.
How many total touchdowns Cam got?
50.
So why you mad, son? Tell me why you mad, son.
Yo, you mad?
Tell me why you mad. Like, y'all mad at Cam because off the field? So we're going to go back to Auburn,
That's what
Florida,
they're doing. But that's
like,
the crazy part.
And that's what I feel like you're reaching. Because the man, an NFL quarterback, the man got 50.
This is what I try to tell people, because I saw a thing on Facebook where they were talking about, like, they did like a thing on all the reporters or people that said something about Cam when he came out in the draft. And people are supposed to make mistakes. But what they said was, like, I've never seen anyone do that. I've never seen anyone win at his size. What the hell does that mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, so you have to see someone the exact copy to say, oh, yeah, that guy can do it? No, this guy here, there's no one ever going to be like Cam Newton. No one ever going to be 6'6", 250 pounds, run a 4.6 40, and be able to be strong and as athletic and talented as this guy and carry the team the way he has. We got to remember, Peyton Manning threw the ball he's going to have a bunch of Hall of Famers he played with. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne,
Dallas Clark.
And he didn't make Reggie
Edric
Wayne a Hall of
James.
Famer. Reggie Wayne is a Hall of Famer. Marvin Harrison.
Those guys are
Edge James, Demarius Thomas.
These
are high-end
You go
greats.
to Denver, you have Wes Welker, you have Stokely. You have guys that are very talented and do a specific job. Who is Cam Newton? Greg Olsen?
It is crazy,
Greg Olsen.
man. It's crazy. That is the most productive offense in the NFL with those guys around them.
At a position, we get too caught up in the height and size or what a quarterback, corner, defensive lineman is supposed to look like. Russell Wilson.
Playmaker.
Playmaker. Tyrann Mathieu.
Playmaker.
Cam. Playmaker. So when you have a special guy at a certain position, you just got to go out on bow down and be like, hey, man, this guy, regardless on what we say in his size, yeah, he's not his 6'4", Russell Wilson, he's not your 6'3". He doesn't deliver the ball like a Tom Brady, but guess what? He's a Super Bowl champion. And Tyrann Mathieu, he's not your typical 5'11", 6 foot, strong safety / free safety, but he's the honey badger. And if you watch the National Geographic channel, you know what honey badgers are. Like, honey badgers don't play no games with nobody. Pound for pound, they're one of the meanest animals in the world.
It's sort of, that's the thing. When you see something you've never seen before, no one had ever seen Michael Jordan before until he arrived. Then everybody starts getting compared to that after the fact. Well, Kobe's going to be the next one, and there are myriad guys that have been compared to him. Then it became LeBron James. The thing that stood out about LeBron is we've never seen that before.
Right.
Cam Newton you've got Troy Polamalu. You've never seen that before.
LeBron is Cam on the field.
That's right.
Same kind of body. I'm talking about stature-wise.
Yep.
Same kind of body. Other than a Irvin Magic Johnson, LeBron, man, 6'6", 2.
Yeah, he's another great one. No one's ever seen that.
That goes with
before.
Steph Curry. Steph Curry. I'm sorry. So Steph coming out, and we're gonna bring it back to Cam, but Steph coming out, he's too small. He's this. We've never seen anyone do this, and yet his game translates because he shoots the ball, he can get open, he can dribble, he can pass, and all he's done is getting better. Or he's gotten better. If you look at Cam Newton, right, his game didn't translate because he ran that crazy offense. But what they did was they took that crazy offense from Auburn. They kind of pieced it in a little bit to a pro-style offense. So now he's comfortable. They're still running pro-style plays. They built a team around him.
And that's, you know what, Maurice and Ike said this in September. Mike Shula is not getting enough credit, and he still isn't getting enough credit.
Won't.
Everybody's higher, Adam Gase, all this and that. Mike Shula understood exactly what you guys are explaining. You have a singular talent. You can't modify his thing to modify what his talents are to what I have decided before I ever met this guy, what I want him to do.
Correct.
No, you go the other way. You build it all the way around him. Get your ego or your narcissism out of the way. I understand winning offensive football. No. You know what's winning offensive football? Doing whatever it is to let this guy's singular talent shine, because there's nothing anybody can do to handle it.
Calvin Benjamin is coming back next year.
Yeah. Funches.
Funches is coming back. He's his second year. Olsen is going to be awesome next year because with the healthy receivers, going to take a lot of pressure off of him. You're going to draft yourself another running back.
Got to
go along
with Stewart.
It's about to be scary.
I think the biggest thing with me is, and what I've seen, like, because when we're starting to do our draft thing and look at other people, and I don't care what you've done. I don't care who you remind me of. I never want to say he reminds me of, because I'm putting a ceiling on him.
Right.
Can he play or can't he play?
Right.
Simple as that. And so we've seen this guy won a national championship. He can play. Right? He led Auburn. After he left or before he got there, Auburn was one of the worst teams in the game.
One of the worst.
Then he comes in, all of a sudden they win a national title. Like, that means this guy can change the game. And so for me, too many times we have to say he reminds me of, or he is like, or he have to pair him with someone. No. You know what? Simple as that. I need playmakers.
Yeah, there's just never been, like you say, Steph Curry, never been anything like that before. Now the question becomes, though, the Seattle Seahawks, it's very easy to right now, or like, in December of 2015, look at them and say, oh, you know what they're about, though. They're bullies. They're the NFC bullies, and they know what they are and what their identity is. Yeah, but 2 years ago, they weren't that. They weren't that until they were that. And how do you become that is when you win the Lombardi Trophy or you make a deep run like that, then you get a little bit of swagger. How tough a pivot in these next 2 weeks is it when you have – they aren't bad teams that they've beaten to get to the Super Bowl now, Carolina. They just whipped Seattle. Seattle tried to sneak back in. So did Arizona, but ultimately Cam and company kept them down. So they've housed 2 really good NFC teams. How do you make this transition like this nonsense that we talked about the other day? No one outside this locker room believes. You're the number 1 seed. You're the 15-1. Everybody believes in you. Nobody thinks you're not good.
It's not about that.
It's like this.
But how do you now handle, like, all right, we got to keep it in check. We can't get big egos.
Is it?
Is
it?
It's this.
Or do you want big egos?
It's one game. That's what you gotta like about the NFL. This ain't no series. This is not no baseball World Series.
No.
This ain't no basketball. We're going by a series. You got one shot. So basically, I'm in sniper mode. I got one shot to do the job, and if I fail, man, it's gonna be a long off season. I've been in 3 of them, and the loss hurt me worse. Like, I remember that loss more than the 2. The 2 wins was very successful, but that loss, you still can't never shake that loss. I mean, you got 1 and 2 defenses. So I look at the Denver Broncos defense like us.
Yeah.
Us sitting here, the Broad Street Bullies. Yeah, our attire is in suit and ties, but we still deliver the same message as them guys in TA.
Yeah.
As your Michael Irvins, your Deion Sanders, your Marshall Falks. That's how I look at Carolina defense. Your business attire kind of guys.
Interesting analogy.
You know what I'm saying?
That,
your business attire kind of guys. But we still get the
higher
job
profile and game day more.
Still get the job. Still get the job done.
But we got better looks, if nothing else. Right now, at the right.
I don't think it's too bad.
I think with both.
I'm the most handsome.
I think both. It's just like, if you ever seen like two Rams, right? We had one, but we like the real National Geographic, how they just or you see
They
like
go for hours.
two lions when they see one's getting older, they trying to mess with him and he has to fight to keep. That's what this is about because you have two teams, two defenses that are real bullies that feel like they are the best, right? You have one that has Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, T.J. Ward, Talib, Harris, Roby. I mean, they got a gang of name guys. Derek Wolf.
Yes.
You got another one that has like two or three.
Now you got guys on different Broncos that got rap sheets.
Yeah.
No, for real. Like, but you need we always talk about this. You need guys like
Defense, you have to have some
red flags. On defense, I need a few red flag guys.
You got to have some rugged people because you remember
got
you're
to.
playing from behind.
You got to
playing at a
because
disadvantage.
in an adversity situation, all of them gonna stand up and be like, "This is the time we need to make plays."
But think about Carolina. You have Kuechly who, for some reason, it's like I don't know about him, man. Because I see him play, but then I hear him talk, and it's confusing me, right? Because I see the way you play and how because you're nasty. You finish people.
He reminds me of James Ferrier. See, I went through two captains, two different kind of style of captains. I went through Joey Porter,
Oh yeah.
which was rough and rugged as a captain on that defense, and that's how we played 2005. And I went through James Ferrier, business attire. Both of them kick butts. Both of them kick butts, take names. They used to always say the tip of their shoes was SH. Because we're always kicking butts.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying. We had
I followed.
shoes. You know what I'm saying? That's all he used to say. Two different style of people, but they had the same mentality. Same thing with the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers, man.
We got to break down Kuechly though, man, because like you hear him talking and
He's the
like,
mystery guy.
He sounds like a quarterback. That's how he sounds.
He's the mystery guy.
like
You know, he's a
quarterback.
lot.
He
you know,
scares me.
He's like
He's
Andrew
right.
Luck,
Yeah.
kind of.
He scares me, right?
Thank
Because-
you. That was a terrific
Right.
sack you made, defender. Like, what were you talking about?
But-
Yeah.
but-
He's the guy that's gonna shake your hands, and I tell him to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I've seen him hit people and then just finish the guy, elbow in his head, and then get up and don't say nothing to you. And I see me, because I'm the kind of like, oh, what's the deal? And he won't say anything. Like it's like once the whistle blows, he clicks out, checks in, he checks out. Real
Well,
quick.
the play, I mean, when he gets the pick six, he runs it through the end zone. The fan falls out of
Yeah,
the stands.
and then he's all of a
at the
sudden, like-
height of glory. Oh, we're going to the Super
He's
Bowl. He
concerned.
comes like, oh, can I
He's
can I
concerned.
help you up, sir?
a better one than that. When he gets the pick against Tony Romo, and he punches him in the end zone, like, psh, and then after he just looked like, oh, I'm sorry, man, like, and then it's like, are you kidding me?
You can see something's wrong with him a little bit.
Yeah, he's wrong. He's off.
yeah. You saw what he did to Cortland Finnegan.
Oh, he told him to get out of here.
Get out. Get off the field. Because I'm not supposed to make this play. This is your play / interception. Worst case scenario, you getting a PBU. But you was in the right place, and I'm sure we went over this 100 times.
Yeah.
Like Cortland, you know better.
He
Hey,
looks-
Coach, matter of fact, get him off the field.
He looks a lot like the guy who plays Superman these days. So maybe he has a little Clark Kent to him there.
All I
Hey,
know
this
is,
dude's special.
The ladies, let me tell you this: the ladies,
oh, they love him.
They think he's number one, better
Hey,
than Brady,
hey,
better than Cam.
This dude is special.
Look at him. Look at the way he runs.
This dude is special.
Look
He
at
don't
him. Watch,
care.
and he's gonna click
He's
out.
clumsy.
You gotta watch him. Watch him. We gotta keep the tape rolling until he clicks out.
Fundamentally clumsy.
He clicking in. He's in. He's in. He's in. He's in. He's in.
Then he go crazy.
Woo, woo, and then he's gonna click out.
Well, we have a lot to break down in the next week and a half here to get ready for the Super Bowl. Just one question, and then I don't want to, we got a lot of time to talk about this. We'll break it down every which way. But the Broncos can't play the same way against Cam that they just played against Brady for exactly what you said. T.J. Ward, they know that Brady wasn't going to take off and make them pay. Obviously, Cam will burn you.
But you don't have to play cover 2 anymore. You don't have to play. I mean, you don't have no receiver that's gonna scare you. There's no Edelman out there, right? There's no Gronk out there. I mean, Greg Olson's the next best thing to Gronk, but you don't have to double him. You can put a safety on him or something like that and force Cam to throw in the tight windows. That's when they struggled. I mean, that's how Atlanta beat them.
That's my scare. Nothing scares me if I'm the Denver Broncos on Carolina
More than Cam.
more than Cam, but fundamentally will we stay sound for 60? Because that's what Cam does, like a Ben Roethlisberger, extend plays.
Mm-hmm. By the way, one thing we always talk, and we've done it all since September, is Cam just has nobody out there. But you mentioned his name, Greg Olson. consistently dominant, or he's right behind Gronk. Gronk is the best tight end I've ever seen. He's the best of the Super Bowl era, statistically and otherwise, better than Kellen Winslow or anybody, or Tony Gonzalez that you guys throw out there. He's just dominant. But Greg Olsen this year is clear-cut the second-best tight end and a humongous factor, both in running, and that's the other factor, that they can hold him back and keep him in line there as an extra blocker if they need to. But then you're really putting it on Ted Ginn Jr. and company.
If them receivers can stay
up.
healthy next year, Ted Ginn is going to probably be one of the guys that lead the league in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Touchdown receptions.
I think, again, though, it's going to have to – if we're going to break this game down, and the more I look at it, Ted Ginn has to have a game. You have to make us afraid of you. Because if we're not afraid of you, if you don't beat us or catch a ball or do a reverse touchdown or something –
Black Tie, why are you yelling at me? If you want them to not, if you want to save that till next week, we'll save it till next week.
Save it till next week.
All right, well then say it.
We can give him a little tease. A little tease. A
Yeah.
little dab in the
We have a lot of business to tend to next week when we're up in the Bay Area because
we can be
Maurice
busy.
Jones-Drew's
That's right,
homecoming.
Ooh.
Ike's going to be up there, tripping the light
gonna be a good
fantastic. We're going to have a great
We
time.
got to go to Alcatraz.
This is our last. I love that Alcatraz tour.
would
You
be
ever
awesome.
take that tour?
Never done it.
You got to
Oh,
make sure you do the headphone
That's
tour.
right. It says like now take
the headphone tour.
Now take 4 steps to your right, and you'll find yourself in the cafeteria where the
Where-
inmates
Now
were.
at Alcatraz.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't do all that.
Oh, it's great. You have to do it.
I
that way.
went to San Quentin. It stinks. They all stink.
No, it don't stink.
No, nobody's
stink?
lived in there in 30 years.
It don't stink.
Sean
Okay.
Connery
It's
and
nice,
Nick
dog.
Cage were the last people there, I think.
Really?
Something like
Well,
that.
I think. we
Oh,
need to talk
one
about
last note. I did hear you say 5 minutes ago you compared us to the Broad Street Bullies. I assume you're not familiar. That's the Philadelphia Flyers nickname. That I won't have. I can't. I
No,
want
it's-
nothing to do with that.
I'm talking about the attire.
Okay.
That's all.
that. The way they dress. They
The
dress
way
well.
we dress.
All right.
don't- we
I
don't
just have
dress
to
like
make
everybody.
people always say, "Oh, you're such a hater. You hate this team. You hate that team." No, I hate no professional sports team except the Philadelphia Flyers. That's the only team I hate.
Why?
Because I don't like that.
Why though?
Because they're dirty scumbags.
Why your voice got loud?
What happened?
Because I don't. Why you have to ask me a question?
I
You
was
want to
asking
push
why.
buttons? You're gonna guess
No,
what?
That's why.
Sometimes
what's
if-
the deal with Sid the Kid?
What do you mean?
Where
What's
you-
the
where you
deal with
been
it?
at?
He's coming on now. He's starting
Yeah,
to
it
figure
was
it
a
out.
slow
He's
start.
getting going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Geno Malkin's coming on.
It's been a slow start for Sid.
Yeah. The Flyers are a loathsome bunch. They're dirty. They've always been dirty, and they love being dirty.
That's what. That's
Now
what
I'm
it's all
angry.
about.
All right, so we'll have a great time in San Francisco, but we do have another podcast coming for you this week. Right now, we have to pay off what I mentioned way back at the start of the show. Dan Hellie and Handsome Hank made a food-based wager. Whoever picked worse in the title games would have to watch the other eat from the McPick 2 menu, and he couldn't have a single bite. Let's get to that event right now.
Previously on DDFP.
I think we need some stakes. These are big games that are coming up on Sunday. So here's what I propose we do with the McPicks menu. Whoever wins between the two of you gets to choose not just 2 items, but the entire McPicks. And it'll come on my dime, and the loser has to watch. Has to sit and watch. Patriots, Broncos, Dan Hellie choose.
This isn't even going to be a close game. It's unfortunate, but Tom Brady is going to march in to Mile High and dissect that defense.
I don't need it this time because I agree with him. I think the Patriots are going to win that one.
Here's Brady. Rolling out, rolling and throwing. It's tipped in the air, and it's intercepted.
This is the game I've wanted to see all year.
Yes.
So excited about being able to see it by picking the Panthers.
Ooh, Dan Hellie, how say you?
If any team is built to take apart this Panthers defense, it's the Arizona Cardinals.
They continue to run him. He is in for the touchdown.
Well, this is a tale of two pickers
Champion.
here.
Woo! Champion. Kind of
Handsome
champion.
Hank, our champion after
Yep.
title weekend. Congratulations. I don't know how proud you can be. You only went
Good
1-1.
job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the sort of Jeff Fisher champion, a 500 record. It's exactly, that's the type of champion I am.
And then look who it is. A man of honor, still with his dignity intact, even though he went
Kinda.
0-2
Not totally.
after title game weekend.
Over.
Yeah, we replaced the red challenge flag pick segment in front of title weekend in favor of the McDonald's McPick 2 picks
Yeah.
for the games. And the loser, of course, gets none of these.
I get a watch.
Handsome. No, you have to watch, in fact.
You have to
to
watch me.
You can't.
Got
I
it.
don't want you to be distracted.
Gonna
I'll
be a
try to
pleasure.
talk to you about football a little bit. Handsome. They're the world famous fries you could choose. You could pick the McDouble. You could pick the McChicken, or brand new to McDonald's, mozzarella sticks.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Did
that
not
is
know that
exciting.
until today.
I know, but
I
you're
am
not
in.
going to get to find out about
Yeah,
them
yeah.
until another day. Handsome, what's your pleasure? Pick two.
Well, I was going to McDonald's to get a McPick 2 for lunch anyway, so this is terrific that this has arrived at this time. I'm going to go straight up McDouble. That's what I always get.
Done
And
done.
And then I'm excited about trying some mozzarella sticks as well. So I'll take some of those as well. But I'm going to start
These
with
burgers
the McDouble.
smell very nice.
They really do. They smell delicious, fresh, warm. Wow,
Can I open your marinara sauce?
If you'd like to, great. That's really the closest you're getting to eating anything.
Clearly.
Dan Helly,
Fresh.
what surprised you more from Championship Sunday? Was it the result in Mile High? Because as we heard at the top of the show, you anticipated Brady picking that defense apart. I did as well, and was stunned that you saw no quick passes just
Right.
about to Edelman. They just had that sussed out. Did son of bum Wade Phillips or the blowout in Charlotte?
Well, that Denver defense was just spectacular. It was the blowout in Charlotte, I think, because at least the game in Denver was close. The Patriots had a chance to win in the end. I did not anticipate Cam Newton and that offense doing what they did to the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think anybody thought that there was going to be 7 turnovers by the Cardinals either. So that, to me, was the biggest surprise. Clearly my pick radar off just a wee bit this past week. So I'm going to have to give a long, hard thought to who I end up picking for the Super Bowl. But I got to have a couple weeks.
So you're not prepared to
No,
make a
definitely not.
McPick right now?
Not doing that now.
You've only got a McPick from 2 teams right now.
Right.
See, I'm working in the.
You've
I'm a
really-
bit of a
you've
shill.
brought
So
in
what?
on
But how's
the
that,
McPick.
Handsome?
It's delicious. The McDouble is delicious as well, and mozzarella sticks, yummy.
Can I suggest something? Now, you don't have to do it right now, but maybe you might
Yeah, I'll
wanna
do it.
take.
If you suggest it, I'll
If
do
you
it.
want to take a couple of those mozzarella sticks, put them inside the McDouble. Now you're really cooking with
That
gas.
might be a little too much for me.
I don't think so. I don't know what to say. You're only
That-
limited by your own imagination. You understand?
That would be lovely. I may do that later. Can I steal some?
No, you cannot. You cannot. That's
Wait, as the victor, you don't
You'd
get to
have
make the rules.
some.
I would like Dan Helly to have. If he wants something, he can have it. You take it. Make your own McPick.
Good. I'm taking
All
these
right.
for the
I want, you know what,
Good for you.
Hallie, yeah, you know what, take
Thanks.
those, give them to Lindsay Rhodes and everybody else over there at Total Access. We appreciate the time. We look forward to seeing you in San Francisco. It's coming up, everybody.
Can I just say one thing before
Yes.
I go? To Denver fans, congratulations.
Yeah.
But be gracious.
Yeah, be happy
I'm not
as well.
I'm not going to shoot myself. No, I made a bad pick. Listen, I went to college with Peyton Manning. I said I hoped I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm happy he's going to the Super Bowl. I'm happy for the Denver
I have
fans.
never in my life, in all my years of rooting for sports, have I ever seen a fan base that's more angry after you reach the Super Bowl, demanding apologies from analysts. What do you care? You should feel better.
I mean, and by the way, you live in Denver. It's
Right.
one of the greatest cities in the country. You should always be happy. Always be happy.
Yeah,
If
you
it-
know
if
what
it-
makes Denver even better? The McPick 2
Totally agree.
menu.
Yeah.
You can go
If
in
it
there.
ever happens, I can guarantee you, after the Miami Dolphins win the AFC Championship game, I won't spend the next few hours searching back through all the analysts that didn't pick
I want an
and tweeting at them.
apology.
tweeting at them or whatever is invented by the time the Dolphins make a Super Bowl to tell them that they were wrong. Probably
Trust me.
hologram into their house.
It's
like-
better when you're not supposed to do it. It's more satisfying. When
Right.
you're supposed to do it, you only feel
Agreed.
relief. This is exciting if you're
Agreed.
a Broncos fan. Anyway, Dan Helly, we expect great times with you in the port of San Francisco next week. In the meantime, we appreciate you taking out the time and watch them on Total Access all this week as you get prepped for Super Bowl 50. Eat up, handsome. Go ahead. All right, Black Tie wants us to wrap it up, or else we could continue.
Hey, real quick.
Hey, Black Tie hit that button too. He messing.
I like at the end, woo!
messy.
You can't turn it off until you get the woo at the end there.
That's the word.
All right, let's turn it off now. We'll be back for one more show with you. Oh, wait a second. We're going to have Ike and Maurice later in the week and the Sklar brothers. The 5 of us are going to sit down and chop it all up and figure it all out. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be up on Thursday. And like I say, NFL Now. Check these guys out. Check report, all that stuff. Thanks so much. A few days away from Super Bowl 50. Meantime, been a thin slice of heaven, everybody.
Find out more on the next DDFP.